Welcome back to Tech Talk Islamic Banking and Finance Special. Now almost towards the end of the show, and in the beginning and towards the middle, we've spoken about how Islamic banks are different from conventional banks. We've also spoken about different aspects, different products which Islamic banks are offering, and now we're moving on to the capital reserve requirement, Mr. Siddiqui. And as per the latest which came out of the State Bank of Pakistan, 23 billion rupees is saying should be the minimum paid up capital by 2013. Now, first of all, this won't be really achievable if there aren't any mergers. So now in the conventional banking side, what do you think will happen, and especially in the Islamic banking side?
I think the signal was very clear from the government, and it has been over the past few years as well, that smaller banks would find it difficult to survive on a standalone basis. So I think consolidation is a buzzword which is being used in international markets as well. So there would be consolidation in the conventional and Islamic banking industries. Alhamdulillah, as far as Meezan Bank is concerned, we feel comfortable that, given our shareholders' profile, I don't think we'll have any issues.
Okay, and one more thing, 23 billion rupee is the same, it's both for conventional as well as Islamic banks.
Exactly, the regulatory requirements are same.
Okay.
Same for both. So I think we'll see. Probably my own estimate is that from currently I think there are about 40 banks in the market. Maybe there will be a merger and probably 30 would be left.
Okay, and how will this benefit actually the financial sector of Pakistan?
It's just that it will make individual banks more stronger. Obviously, this kind of capital, when it comes in, it shows more strength. So, when there are cyclical movements of bad debts, as we've seen in the recent past because of the economy going a little bit slower, so those kind of shocks are more easily taken by the banks when it's highly capitalized. From an earning perspective, obviously the investors or the shareholders would suffer because the more the capital, the lesser is the return on equity.
Okay, and talking about now about this capital reserve requirement, now moving forward, you're expecting this to happen, and moving forward, how is the scenario for Islamic banking now?
I think, like I said, the Islamic banking market is just growing every year. According to the estimates of the State Bank of Pakistan, which I really hope it comes to fruition, is that right now Islamic banking market is about 3.5%, I think maybe 4% by now. They're expecting that this will grow to 12% by the year 2012.
Okay.
So that if it grows to 12%, that means it will triple from what it is now. Triple at the current level, and obviously as the banking industry grows, so it will have to be quadruple probably. So if our size is 10, we have to be 40 in 2012 if we want to maintain that 12%.
Okay, and now talking about the excess liquidity which Islamic banks have, now what avenues of investment does Islamic Bank invest into?
Islamic Bank invests into all, like any conventional counterpart. We're into leasing transactions, home mortgages, corporate finance, microfinance, leasing. Micro, we're not into micro, but SME and commercial. And whatever surplus is left over, that's where the sukuks and the T-bills comes into play. Is now hopefully, with the start of this sukuk market by the government, I think we'll have enough liquidity which can go into these instruments.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Siddiqui, now I know you're not the right person to ask this since Meezan Asset Management is looking after that, but the KSE Meezan Islamic Index was launched with a co-brand first index with the Meezan Bank and the Meezan name in it. Now, what are expectations from this index, and what was, if you have any idea, what was the major back homework about this index?
You see, basically we've got 30 shares listed in this index. Number one, people can have that comfort that if they want to invest in the share market individually, they know that if the company is listed in that, then it's a compliant share. And secondly, when fund manager is declaring his own performance vis-a-vis the market, so it's no point comparing it with the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 index, because there are a lot of shares like banks, insurance companies which we can't invest in. So then you're comparing apple with oranges. Okay. So when there is an Islamic index, then you'll be able to say that, okay, this fund manager has outperformed the index. So it'll be a like with like comparison.
Okay, and in this index all 30 companies will then definitely have to be Sharia compliant?
All Sharia compliant.
And are there any regulations which have been brought in place in this index by the SECP which need to be met?
No, I think SECP is not really involved in that from that perspective.
Okay.
But like if you're aware, Dow Jones has got an Islamic index. Similarly, Meezan has been operating on its own screening process for a long time. Like our mutual fund has been there in the market for the last 5 years, or longer in fact. So we've been screening these shares, So really, we had our own index, so to say, which we just published. Published, and mashallah, I think it's a big credit for our mutual fund, Meezan Investment Management, and for Meezan. The first time KSE actually co-branded it with any third party.
Well, congratulations to Meezan Bank and Meezan Asset Management. And that we certainly hope to monitor the index movement very hopefully, and how it performs with the performance of the market, of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Irfan Siddiqui, for joining us. Irfan Siddiqui, their President and CEO of Meezan Bank Limited. Today we spoke about Islamic banking in particular, and we spoke about various aspects of Islamic banks. Started off with how they're different from conventional banks. We spoke about products which Islamic banks are offering, and moving forward how the capital reserve requirement of the state bank will impact conventional as well as Islamic banking. Well, that's about all we have from Take Stock Islamic Banking and Finance Special today. You can write to us at takestock@dawnnews.tv for any of your comments or feedback. Till next time, from Meezan, Soharwardi and the rest of the Take Stock team, it's goodbye.